Welcome to the Comedy Sideshow. I'm your host, Theo Vaughn. We have a great show this week for you. Star of Jackass and Jackass 3D. We've got him here live in 4D. It's Steve-O. And stand-up comedian Assad Motavasseli.
Hi, this is Pablo Francisco, and you're watching the Comedy Sideshow.
There's totally a bit. Like, all my comedy is based on true shit, you know?
Right.
Like, it's fucked up, but every single thing that I talk about and every story, like, it all really happened, you know?
Right?
I'm trying to think how to, like if it's worth it to talk about this one time, this drunk chick
I think it's worth it.
was giving me a blowjob, and she
Right.
literally passed out with my dick in her mouth. She was like...
That's an old Irish trick, I think.
I remember thinking, like, what the fuck, man? Like,
I wonder if I would have had.
because, like...
What do you
it's
do
like,
at that point?
You know, like, what do you do? It's like... I mean, I remember what I did. Like, I kind of, like came out from next to her, and I was, like, laying next to her, and she's like... And then I remember I reached out and I kind of grabbed a boob and I was sort of jerking off a little bit. And I was like, fuck, man. And it was just a big resentment.
Because there's no emotion left in it.
Just a big resentment. I felt so creepy, man. I don't know if that's a bit, but it just popped in my head.
I like it, man. I'm actually still thinking about it. Was she hot? Then it's that. I think it's a good bit, man.
Drunk chicks are great, you know, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
then they're too drunk, you know.
Yeah, it gets a little seedy. I think that's the punchline right there, Steve. I really do. You could even put the mic stand like in the edge of your mouth. Like
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a bit there. But yeah, that's how my comedy is, man. Like the first time I ever did stand-up was summer of 2006.
Right?
So almost 5 years ago.
Really? I didn't know that.
And someone
Where at?
At the Laugh Factory. Someone invited me to come and get on stage and do something crazy.
Nice.
I remember I showed up and I looked around and I thought, the craziest thing I could do by far would be to get on that stage and try stand-up comedy.
Right.
You know, like hands down. And I was terrified to do it.
Really?
And I was like, I just gotta do it, you know, I gotta do it.
Because
So,
you wouldn't think that. Somebody who'd done all the stuff that
right.
you've done, you
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
think
I was terrified, man. Like, more masochistic than scrotum stapling is how it felt, you know?
I've seen you
Right.
staple that.
So I was sitting around and I was waiting for it to be my turn. And I was thinking, man, like, what can I say? Like, I was trying to come up with some funny stuff. And then I got on stage and I threw it out there and some people laughed. And I was like, man, you know, I kind of got hooked right away. So I remember thinking, like, oh, man, I got to do this. Like, what a great way to, like, evolve and, like, be able to maybe have a career later, you know? Like,
Right.
Because, like, shoving shit up my ass is getting old, you know?
Yeah, well, not that everybody's doing it now, but yeah, it's getting a little more popular. I mean, not that you didn't start shoving shit up your ass first.
Maybe it's not getting old. Like, maybe it's getting more and more popular, you know? But in any case, I just thought, like, this would be great. And as Jackass 3 was approaching, you know, and we were working on it, and I was like, what am I going to do when this thing comes out? And I was like, so I really planned ahead. And I was like, I'm going to fucking really get into it, you know? I met Dane Cook, and I told him I want to get real serious about stand-up. And he was like, dude, I'll fucking come to the LA Improv, man. I'll get you up on, you know.
He's a serious dude.
And
He's serious about his craft.
And he was like, you know, we picked a day, and I had like 1 week. I spent that whole week just fucking writing and fucking, you know, like going to the open mic at Marty's like night after night, and like, you know, writing, and like finally I came out and we did the show, and Dane sat down with me, and the first night he said, I'm not sending you back to the drawing board. You know, I was like, whoa, rad, you know, and then like that weekend we were at the Laugh Factory Friday and Saturday again. He sat down, gave me notes, and like.
That's
really
some pretty serious advice. I mean, that's like...
It's a major mentor, yeah.
Yes, that's a major mentor. I mean, that guy has
Yeah.
done pretty much everything he's wanted to do in the sport. if you consider it a sport. So do you feel like, because obviously, I've seen shows you've done in the past that weren't stand-up comedy, that were basically like live entertainment type shows, just sheer insanity. Good shit though, good shows, definitely entertaining, no doubt about it. Do you feel like more vulnerable or like naked up there without the extra people and the extra props, and like, do you?
In 1997, I graduated from Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Clown College.
Did you really?
I did, yeah, and I went on to have a career as a circus clown. And that was like I don't know, 10 shows a week, live performance.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my last day in the circus was my first day filming for Jackass. I washed out my clown makeup the last time, and within a half an hour, I was puking up a goldfish,
Damn.
And
Right on.
and as soon as Jackass started, man, I put together a tour, the Don't Try This at Home tour. And so live performance has been part of my deal, since day one. So it's not that much of a departure for me to be doing comedy,
Right. No, I agree. It's not.
But when I first started, I was thinking, man, this would be a great way where I could preserve myself and sort of it's more sustainable.
Right.
But then Jackass 3 came out, and I'm hitting it hard, and then people are finding out. All of a sudden, I'm headlining comedy clubs, and I got my own tour, and right away, I'm thinking, dude, I'm not letting anybody sell tickets to a Steve-O show and not gonna do stunts and fucked up outrageous shit,
Right.
So as it turns out, I'm doing I do 30 minutes of stand-up, and then I do 15, 20 minutes just straight fucking myself up doing stunts and shit, So what started out as I'm gonna preserve myself, then all of a sudden I'm doing 6 shows per weekend. It's infinitely more abusive than with all the repetition.
So
It's crazy.
But it seems like you're really genuinely serious about it. Because I remember when I first heard you were going to stand up, I was like, oh, this should be interesting to see. But then now, I've definitely heard about it a lot. I see different clubs where I see you on the billboard, and everybody's excited about coming out. I've heard good things. How do you feel like it's going to be something you're really going to do for a while?
At this point, I'm riding in the wake of this big Jackass success,
Right.
So it kind of remains to be seen if I pull this off, if this takes on a life of its own. If all I do is just stand up in clubs and nobody necessarily knows about it, Jackass will wear off and it'll fizzle out. Who knows, man? I'm just working hard at it. I feel like I need to have some kind of I want to figure out a way to have a TV show, a TV crew follow me on this tour and just fuck shit up everywhere I go. Then at that point it would be cheating,
Right.
But without that kind of a vehicle, we'll see what happens, man. And I'm just working as hard as I can, and I don't know, man. People are laughing, and I'm having a good time. So
Yeah, it's good shit, man. And I think it's good the way you're doing, some stand up and then still doing some of what your old fans want to see, That way, you're kind of introducing them to it,
Right.
So in the future you come back, and if you wanted to, just maybe hit them with all stand-up. Who knows?
I don't think I'm gonna have to be an old ass motherfucker to do just stand-up, but can I say motherfucker on this?
I think you can. Could you cough up a goldfish right now if you really tried? You think you have one in you somewhere?
I'm strictly vegan now. I don't fuck with fish anymore.
What about a one of those?
And I have
goldfish.
I have a fucked up throat too, man.
Yeah, what happened?
All the vomiting and drugs and fucking smoking and I don't know, but I have poor vocal hygiene.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree. Poor vocal hygiene. That's fucking great.
You know what I did today? It's hilarious. I fucking auditioned for the Affleck voice.
Did you really?
Affleck.
I can actually see you doing it. How'd it go, you think?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Affleck.
I don't know. Actually, who would be better to buy insurance from than you, who has been through absolutely every fucking physical and emotional nightmare, and is sitting here right now and taking on a whole new sport in the world?
Yeah.
It's a really good point.
Who knows, man? But I'll tell you, man, for the people who are in Tampa, I got the Tampa Improv. Not this weekend, next weekend.
Oh, nice. Have you been there before?
I have not, no.
Beautiful, beautiful place, bro. You feel like you're on Broadway. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I got my tour's crazy, man. I'm all over the place. Like,
And where can they check out your tour dates? Obviously, they can check them out on
stevo.com.
Stevo.com. Awesome.
Yeah, and I got the Twitter. It's Stevo. They're both my website and my Twitter are Stevo, just without the hyphen. All letters.
Stevo, no hyphen, all letters. You can check it out at stevo.com, and then he'll be in Tampa at the Tampa Improv this April. Make sure to go check him out. Stevo, thanks for coming out and checking, dude.
Brother, man.
Wish you
Thank
the best
man.
of luck, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
I'm sure to rock out. We'll see you in the future.
Hi, everybody. I'm Deborah DiGiovanni, and you're watching the Comedy Sideshow.
Welcome back to the Comedy Sideshow. I'm Theo Vaughn, and we are here with a special young comedian. That's fair to say, isn't it?
I'm young enough.
Young enough. Assad Motavasseli. He's a new young comic. How do you feel if somebody says that, new young comic?
I guess lucky enough to be considered a comic already, I guess.
Okay, then that's good. Now, how long have you been doing stand-up?
Only 2 years actually this month.
2 years this month, and but you've worked around comedians for a long time.
3 years.
Okay, 3 years. So you're really new overall.
I'm overall pretty new. Yeah,
to the whole sport. And now, so what made you like just start watching? First, you were just watching comedians, and what made you decide that you wanted to do it?
To be honest, it was just one of those things where when you're growing up, I was a class clown. It was just like that's pretty much how it was. And then everybody always was like, you should do stand-up, you should do comedy, and I never really took that seriously. And then I graduated from college, and I was like, oh, wow, after all that drinking, now I need to actually find a job.
Right.
And
if you don't want to find a job,
yeah,
then you end up doing stand-up.
pretty much.
Right.
Pretty much. And luckily, it just worked out.
And so now you're getting up, how many times a week would you say, does it up-and-coming comedian, how many times a week do you have to get up to really kind of start to cultivate the craft, would you say?
You know, right now I'm doing about 5 times a week. I don't know if that's enough.
Right.
Like, you feel like it's never enough,
That's a
I
lot.
think. But when I first started, I was still shy, so I wouldn't really do it that often. But now it's like, I got to get up every night. If I take a night off, I feel like an idiot.
You feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've watched you, and I mean, I think your stage presence is really, really awesome, which I think is something
Thanks,
that's,
man.
yeah, you're welcome, which is really hard to like develop, and just that confidence on stage, I think that's definitely there. Are there comedians that you like to watch that you kind of hope to one day kind of, not be like, but kind of that you emulate a little bit, that you really look out and you see like, man, I like their style?
Yeah. I mean, I love the comfort of like Chappelle, Dave Chappelle. I love his comfort. I love what Ricky Gervais has to say. Like, just the way he kind of. Could I say shits? Is it okay if I say
shits? Yes.
He just shits on everything and just kind of, I like him. Chris Rock, Tosh, Louis C.K. I mean, I would say all those guys I really like.
Yeah, no, undeniably, those are some really, really big names.
Yeah.
I mean, so as a young comic, do you feel like there's a lot of, do you really feel like there's a lot of comedy groupies? Because you
Comedy groupies?
yeah.
I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah.
I hope there are. It's kind of the dream, right?
There aren't.
There aren't.
I'll just tell you, yeah,
They're not. Yeah.
They're not.
It's not happening for us.
Yeah, because any chick that just likes to hear a joke, I don't know if that's really the kind of chick you want to be banging, you know?
Oh, definitely not. They don't do it for our personalities.
No.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody does it for the personalities, because that's all we are personalities.
Yeah, that's all I am.
Yeah, and here we are sitting together.
I'm
at
a
table.
5'6" Middle Eastern man. Personality. That's it.
Yeah.
How much do I get laid? Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
Now, I feel actually better sitting by you, because I am none of those things you just mentioned.
But you're slamming poon.
I've gotten some occasional puss over the years.
You're slamming left and right. I've seen it.
We've hit some puss out of the park. I agree. Yeah, man, we should do a threesome one day, probably.
Let's do it. Why not? High five.
You could open up for me,
Yeah.
and then I could come in and close the show.
Yeah, just close the show.
That'd be
Headline that
awesome.
shit.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's actually a really good idea.
I'm down. Why not?
That'd be a great web video if, like, you were like making love to a woman and telling jokes at the same time, and then an MC comes in real briefly, and then he gets in there and just kind of rewarms the crowd up, or brings it down a notch.
Yeah.
And then I get in there and, do what I can,
Well, maybe between the three of us, we can make her come, because I know I can't.
Or at least laugh. At least if she just ends up laughing, then we kind of win a little.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad idea at all. Okay, so you've been doing stand-up for 2 years. I know this is kind of like a general question. Where do you kind of see yourself in 5 years? Where would you like to be?
hopefully headlining.
Yeah.
But I really want to get in the production side of things. I don't really know what angle. I think with stand-up, one thing you kind of figure out is it's not going to be enough. Like, that's not the only thing you're supposed to do.
Right.
That's why I kind of want to do stand-up and production. Having a podcast is really cool. I love podcasts. I would like to get into that, but also like producing maybe stand-up specials. Because I love stand-up. I mean, if I could just make a living off of that, I would, you know, but...
Well, it seems like you're kind of headed in that direction.
I hope.
Yeah?
I mean, but you know, I feel like once I get to that headlining status, I think I'll get there, but like once you get there, then what? You know, it's always the next step.
It's always what's the next step.
Yeah, so
what are some things that you feel like you draw from in your own comedy that kind of, you know, create who you are on stage? Like I draw from like, you know, I look like a cross between kind of like a Patrick Swayze and Shrek a little. I have a little bit of a hunchback. I look like I have a little bit of Down syndrome. I'm from Louisiana. You know, these are things that I draw from. You know, what do you draw from, Assad?
I draw from Jay-Z. I feel like I just look just like him.
Like
pretty
Jay-Z?
much. Yeah, pretty much.
I can see that maybe.
I look like Hova.
He does. You do. Maybe a Middle Eastern Jay-Z.
A Middle Eastern Jay-Z. That's pretty much what I am.
That's not bad at all, man. So let me go over a couple of things here then with you. Do you have some comics that you think are new comics to watch from a new comic to watch?
What do you mean new? Like
new, like young comics that you really like to watch. Some young guys.
Yeah.
That maybe the world doesn't know about.
Andrew Santino's great.
Andrew Santino
Tom
is
Brab.
Great. Tom Brab's very good.
Robbie Pickard I like. Johnny LaCosta I like. I'm trying to think.
That's good. Actually, you're only
All of
allowed to
them.
name 4.
Oh, perfect.
So that's it. So we'll cut them off right there.
Well, sorry to everybody else I didn't mention. Shit. Now I feel bad.
No worries, man. You're only allowed to name 4. So did you get up tonight or no?
No, not tonight, unfortunately. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I know.
You gotta
I'm wasting
figure that
time.
out.
Yeah. I know, especially when it's my own show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do got to figure that out.
Yeah, man, you really have to figure that out.
I need to send myself some links and get myself booked.
Well, dude, I think you have to start like maybe a podcast. I think would be a good idea.
I would love that.
What do you think your podcast would be about?
That's the thing. I have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get comics on, but I mean, that's done right now. Like 3
Like
or 4
this.
people are doing it.
We're doing it.
Yeah, but this is like a video podcast too, which is a little bit different. I mean, Rogan's got something like that.
Yeah.
Right? So, but yeah, I mean, it is done. This is it. So
We're doing it right now, man.
Yeah.
Well, look, dude, we'll have to catch up with you in the future and kind of see what's going on.
for sure.
And keep tabs. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite young comedians to watch. Assad Motavasseli, the bad boy of the Middle East, they called him.
Yeah, check me out on AssadLive.com. Could I plug myself?
AssadLive.com.
Boom.
Yeah. So, bye, Assad.
Later.
Later.
I realized recently how much I don't get laid while I was packing. I was packing for this trip, and this girl I'm trying to like hook up with was there, and in the middle of packing, I opened the little shady pocket in my bag. Every bag has one of these little shady pockets that's like built for condoms or drugs. I don't even know what else would go in there. And so I unzip it and pull out 30 expired condoms from all these past trips that I've been going on, thinking I'm gonna get some. I even call my friends, I'm like, bring some more condoms. I'm gonna need it for this trip. And I never get any. I've been to Vegas maybe 100 times in my life, and I've slept with a random chick once. I'm rounding up on that number. Never slept with a random chick in Vegas. So when I pull out these condoms, the girl I'm trying to hook up with sees this, because I didn't even know they were in there. I pull them out, she looks at me and goes, what are you gonna go do in Vegas? Are you gonna go plow through that city? Are you gonna go rape people? And me, of course, always saying the wrong thing, I look at her and say, if I was gonna rape people, I wouldn't use a condom.
And that wraps up another episode of the Comedy Sideshow. I want to thank Assad Motavasseli and Steve-O from Jackass. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you